So since A is the relationship between adjacent hypotenuse and B is the opposite of the hypotenuse and C is looking at opposite and adjacent, is there a relationship between the three columns? In other words, can I take the A value and the B value and do something to it to come up with an equation that will actually help me find the C value? So that's going to be kind of my hint for that last column, is that I'm hoping that you can look at the first two columns and find some patterns that you can easily come up with answers for. But the last column, can you come up with a formula using the first two? I will at some point during the video show you their answer key for this table, because I think it's important for you to see what their answers are. You may be off by 1,000. Something may necessarily your answer is wrong. We did find some slight differences in their answer, their table versus what we came up with. So if your answer and their answer off by 1,000, just write their answer down. So if you have a .639, they have .640, just write down .640 in parentheses next to your answer. Not that your answer is wrong, it's just that they have, for some reason, a slightly different answer, and that may be more about helping find that pattern that they're wanting to see. But if there is a difference in the answer, their table versus yours, I will let you know what the mistakes are. When you're finished with this table, turn the video back on. I will go through the first problem only, and then have you turn the video back off to continue, just kind of checkpoint. But when you're done with the table, I will turn the video back on. I will have their answer key displayed. All right, so for the 10-degree angle, and again, I'm only showing the 10-degree angle at this point. We're taking the 10-degree angle. Look at their app. So the 10-degree angle, the side opposite is 2.83. So that first row, 2.83, will be the opposite. The hypotenuse is 16.29. That's the longest side. And the 16.04 would be the adjacent side. So for adjacent divided by the hypotenuse, we're going to take 16.04 divided by 16.29, and that's going to give me a 0.985. The next one is opposite, which is 2.83 divided by the hypotenuse, which is 16.29, and that, if I divide those, I get approximately 0.174. And then the last one, the opposite, which is 2.83, and I divide that by the adjacent, which is 16.04, and what I get is approximately 0.176. So hopefully your approach is the same as this, and continue working. If you need to see another row done, again, turn the video off, work on the next row, turn it back on, and then just verify, and then I will show you their answer key. All right, so on the 20-degree angle, the 20-degree angle is the lower left corner, so the side opposite that would be the 5.57. 6.29 would be the hypotenuse, being the longest side, and the 15.3 is the adjacent side. So for the 20-degree angle, we're going to take 15.3 divided by 16. Just right. 16.29. And I get 0.939. And then the opposite would be 5.57 divided by 16.29. So I got that to be approximately 0.342. And then the last one, 5.57 divided by 15.3. I got that answer to be approximately 0.364. So hopefully, again, we are in agreement. So if you've not finished the table, go ahead and do so. And when we turn the video back on, I will have their answer key displayed. So this is their table. And for example, I have kind of a shadow on the 20-degree angle first answer because I came up with 0.939, but they had 0.940. So this is one of those answers where you may see a slight difference. And again, so I would suggest anytime you see a difference of 1,000, put their answer next to yours in parentheses. If your answer is clearly wrong, I go back and redo the problem. Make sure your answer is within 1,000th of their answer or exactly their answer. The only answer that was incorrect on their table for my previous classes is the last answer in the 80-degree row. We got 5.668 instead of 5.671. So we believe the last answer in the table is not correct. Please check that answer first. Do you have 5.668, that last answer in the 80-degree row? If not, again, it's no problem for you to go back and redo. So go ahead and turn the video off to keep to be able to check your answers. And then when you are finished, then continue with the activity. All right, so this is kind of where I'm going to have some brief conversation about some of the problems. This is where I'd like you to continue working as a group of 2, and then this is where we'll kind of pick up on Wednesday. Once you're finished with the table, do you see any kind of patterns that would help you looking at a 20-degree row versus a 70-degree row? Anything that's the same? Anything that's different? As importantly, can you figure out a way of using the A answer and the B answer for a row? These two answers here, can you figure out a way to use these two numbers to get this answer? Can you figure out a way to use these two numbers to get this answer? So think about the different choices that you have in terms of how do I take two numbers and use them to find a third number, and then use your calculator to check those possibilities and see if you come up with one that seems to work. Please understand that the table, the numbers are approximate answers, approximations. So, for example, if I add the A and the B answer in the 10-degree row, for example, and I come up with, let's say, 0.1759, so I'm really close to the 0.176. That just because you're doing the exact answer every single time, just keep in mind these answers are approximate. So you may have a slight difference to their C answer when you, let's say you add the A and B or subtract, whatever steps you plan on doing, come up with that rule. So just understand there might be a slight difference. But can you verify what appears to be happening to the A and B value to get to the C value? When you get to the third page, this is where you're going to actually use the table and to apply it in a very similar way that we did the 45-45-90 and the 30-60-90 last week. If I have, I'll talk specifically about the 30-60-90. If I went between two sides on the 30-60-90, I would either double the two numbers, that would be the short leg to the hypotenuse, or divide by 2, depending on which direction it went. If I went from the short leg to the longer leg, what we did was we either multiplied by 1.73 or we divided by that number depending on which length we were looking for. And between the hypotenuse and long leg, the number we were using was 1.15, either multiplied by it or divided by it. In this problem here, you're given two sides and you're trying to find the angle. So how can I use that table to do that? And hopefully you can come up with a way of using the numbers in that table with the given information to find that number. And again, keep in mind that you may be looking for a missing length like we did last week with those rules. You may find yourself setting up a kind of a generic triangle like the 1, 1, root 3 or the 1, 1, root 2 on the two special triangles, and maybe doing similar triangles at some point. So just be open to the fact that there might be more than one way to get to the answer. But what they're asking you to do is use that table up there to see if you can figure out a way of coming up with the answer to the problem, whether it's a missing
side or missing angle or a missing side length. When you are finished with this activity, then you're done. And so if you have not completed the homework assignments and submitted those, that's what I'd like you to work on. But when you get to problem 15 especially, when there's 3 questions here I'd like you to answer, and please take time to really write out your answers or thought and answer these questions. Really give me some thoughts about what you believe to be true or what you believe you figured out. Share your ideas with your partner, and you may find that your partner has seen some things you haven't, and so add those ideas into your answers as well. So when you come back on Wednesday, we'll go through the specifically the patterns, and we'll talk about the problems from 10 to the end, and then we'll get into the first day of trigonometry. So make sure you have a calculator if you have one with again, sine, cosine, tangent keys on it. But again, if you don't have a calculator, then make sure you have a computer here so that you can use the app that's available in your It's Learning.